Too busy having a conversation.
We good? All right.
Yeah, I'm better sideways. I'm better.
I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody that showed up today. We really appreciate you. The purpose of this press conference is to let the public know about the consumer protection efforts that are going on by current law enforcement and by efforts that are being made to help them in the future. Right now, we're going to start. The first speaker today is going to be DA Robert Wilters of Baldwin County.
Appreciate everyone being here today, especially our legislative delegations of both Mobile and Baldwin County, and all the officials with the Home Builders Association and the Attorney General's office. Baldwin County got hit hard by something that was unexpected by us. Most of us here in Baldwin County have been through dozens of hurricanes. We know what to expect when we're told, Category 1, 2, 3, or 4 is coming in. We know what to expect. Well, what we got a couple of weeks ago, nobody expected. And as a result, there's catastrophic damage done to a number of places and individuals. I know my house has been there for 35 years. Dozens of hurricanes, never flooded once, but it flooded 2 weeks ago. And that was something that was a punch in the gut to me and my wife, because we weren't expecting that. But that's what we got. And a lot of other people got that punch in the gut, and as a result, we're dealing with things that we don't or aren't used to. And one of the things that we have to be patient with is the cleanup and the recovery. It's when you're not patient that you have the chance to get scammed. Because you want things done, you want it done right now. And the scammers that will be coming in here, they're looking for that. They're looking for that person who's desperate, who needs something done right now. Well, please, citizens of Baldwin and Mobile County, try to be patient. Try to be patient. If you are going to have somebody work on your home, have a contract. Have a written contract. Something that says what the scope of the work's going to be, when it's going to be done, what material is going to be used in it, and also how much is it going to cost me. Put that in writing. And if the contractor doesn't want to put it in writing, then let that contractor go and find you another one. Now, if you are scamming or stealing or hurting the people of Baldwin County who are themselves hurting, then we're going to prosecute you. We're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. And I want to thank the Attorney General's office and Tina for all the help that she's given us. She has been a godsend to us. Give her a call. She knows everything to tell us to do. She knows the answers. But again, I thank our legislative delegation and all the other officials that are up here for getting this press conference together. And again, people of Baldwin County, if you feel you are being scammed, please contact the Attorney General's office at alabamaag.gov and go to their Consumer Affairs Division or Consumers. And there'll be a form there they can fill out, and then they can report it to us, and we'll do some investigation. All right, thank you again. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, DA Wilters. Next, from the Alabama Attorney General's office, Assistant Attorney General Tina Hammonds with the Consumer Information Department.
Good morning, everyone. I am Assistant Attorney General Tina Hammonds with the Consumer Interest Division of the Alabama Attorney General's office. I am pleased to represent Attorney General Steve Marshall in today's important press conference. I want to be clear that the Alabama Attorney General's office is committed to supporting our federal, state, and local law enforcement in protecting the interests of coastal residents as they rebuild from last week's hurricane. We all realize that the storm may be gone, but the recovery is going to take a while, months, maybe years for some. The damage is widespread and in many areas catastrophic. While thousands of Alabamians from north to south are positively responding with to the calls for assistance, lending their time, contribution, and prayers, sadly there are others who see such disasters as an opportunity to prey upon victims. These people are committing the fraudulent sale of overpriced goods and services that many victims desperately need in order to recover. That is why we are here this morning. We are here to send a warning to all who seek to unjustly profit off of destruction. They are being watched, and their actions will be reported to law enforcement. Alabama laws target those who commit fraud, both in the sale and the rent of needed resources during a disaster, and those who attempt to illegally profit through the deceptive home repair services. Price gouging during a disaster is against Alabama law. On September 14, when Governor Kay Ivey issued a state of emergency due to Hurricane Sally, her action also activated Alabama's price gouging law. The law is meant to protect the public from those who would take advantage during the times of hurricanes and tornadoes and other disasters. The price gouging law prohibits the unconscionable pricing of items for sale or rent. Now, although what constitutes an unconscionable price is not specifically set forth under state law, a price that is 25% or more above the average charged in the same area within the last 30 days, and which was not due to legitimate increases in product supply costs, is a presumed case of unconscionable pricing. The penalty for price gouging is a fine of up to $1,000 per violation. And those who have been determined to have willfully and continuously violated this law may be prohibited from doing business within the state of Alabama. The public may report concerns of alleged fraud or price gouging to the Alabama Attorney General's Office for investigation. You can contact the Consumer Interest Division of the Alabama Attorney General's Office by email, by phone, or through our website. We have the contact information right here. You can go to alabamaag.gov, and you can also call us at 1-800-392-5658. If you're on a computer, look to the right and you will see the Consumer Interest tab. If you're on your phone, scroll down, you will see the consumer icon. Click through and it will give you all of the information you need in order to give us a complaint, and also will give you resources in our contact info. The Attorney General's Office reviews each complaint that is submitted. We will contact the business or persons alleged to have violated the law, and if we determine that the law has been broken, the AG's Office's Investigations Division will be notified. We'll be in touch with local law enforcement as well, and at that time we can proceed with a more thorough review. Thus so far since the storm, we have received over 40 complaints of alleged price gouging across South Alabama. Most complaints have been, understandably, from Baldwin County, which has seen the worst devastation. We have seen complaints about the overpricing of gasoline, generators, bottled water, ice, and also the overpricing of hotel and condo rentals. If you encounter a sale that you believe may be price gouging, we urge you to keep detailed records of when and where the transaction took place. Take a photo of the receipt if possible. Make a diary about what has occurred to you, and when you submit your complaint to our office, upload that information in the body of the complaint and attach any photographs that you may have taken. You can contact this alabamaag.gov website in order to find that complaint form, and then you'll be able to transmit anything that we need to know through that complaint form, and we'll be in touch with you if we need more information. Thank you for the opportunity to be here for this important press conference, and thank you for the opportunity to relay to the consumers of Alabama how they can report if they have been price gouged or if they have been treated in an inappropriate manner as a part of this disaster recovery. We will be here and available to answer any questions at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Next is from the Alabama Home Builders, is Bill Deloney.
We're a consumer protection agency representing the home builders, and anybody that does any roofing repair from $2,500 up should have a roofer's license, and we've been given an emergency declaration to do a license now, and we've got inspectors in this area that have been here for over a week and will continue to be here for the next few weeks. Anybody that does any repair that amounts to $10,000 or more should have an unlimited builder's license. And always ask for the builder's license that looks like this. If they don't have it, don't sign a contract with them. Don't give them any money up front on big contracts. Just give them a little bit and wait for the final payment. And after you've inspected everything, to finish your payments. Thank you.
We wanted to come here today to allow the public to know what efforts are already being made in the community and what laws are already in place to help the public in these consumer protection instances. There is another reason why we're here today, and that is a bill that we have that is co-sponsored by all the legislators up behind me, with both the Baldwin and Mobile House delegations. This bill would increase the punishment in a state of emergency when somebody is down here and willfully deceives, misrepresents, or commits some type of instance where they take advantage of the citizens down here. And it's in that case, without the license, without doing what they need to do, without going through the proper protocol and behaving in the proper manner, this bill would increase the punishment from the current misdemeanor to a felony, which would open up more opportunities for law enforcement to be able to pursue that charge, to be able to bring that person back, to be able to extradite them after because a lot of these instances are done people that come in new to our area, not from here, and they take advantage of our citizens because they see this opportunity to take advantage of the needy. This bill, which was filed last session and passed the House 97-2, it will be refiled whenever we come back into session. And the goal is to be able to protect the consumers, the legislature to step up and come in and know that consumers, we understand, we hear you. We've heard your complaints, we've heard your concerns about people taking advantage of you. And what we want to do is make sure that the law enforcement has the teeth and the ability to go after and prosecute those people that take advantage of our citizens down here. And that's why we're here today, to talk about that legislation. Not just that legislation, but everything else we have here. I also want to thank and introduce the Speaker of the House of Alabama, Speaker Mac McCutcheon.
Well, thank you, Representative Simpson, and let me say that it is good to be here and to be able to see firsthand the destruction and the damage that was done to our coastal communities here. We're going to be touring around the area today, going over to Dolphin Island and looking at the Sea Lab, as well as some of the agricultural areas that we have that's been devastated by this storm. I want to thank the sheriffs from Baldwin and Mobile counties for being here and the work that they've done through their departments to provide safety and help the people during this time. Also, the Home Builders Association, as well as the legislators who are here working in their district. Mr. District Attorney and the AG's office, thank you for backing up the laws that we have in the state and making sure that our consumers are protected. This is a time when this bill is very, very important to the people of this state, because it's sad to say, but in a time when we should be coming together and trying to help each other at our greatest point of need, you have people that want to take advantage of individuals. And we want to stand firm in the state of Alabama and say we do not accept that kind of behavior, and we're going to stand against it. Since 2011, we started the Smarter Home Building Act, and we started addressing our communities in the coastal area from wind damage, flood damage, and we started working with the federal government on how could we address the homeowner, property owners in these vulnerable areas. And in 2011, we created the Smarter Home Building Act, which began to put in a phase of construction that would actually design new buildings to where that they could withstand these winds and these storms that would literally take the roofs off of people's homes and displace them. Since that time, we've had over 11 pieces of legislation from 2011 up to 2019 dealing with either tax credits, working with insurance companies, working with consumers, working with builders in the state to try to fine-tune the legislation that we have. And it's all designed to try to help the consumer, the property owner. This bill that Representative Simpson had, that's been supported by all of our legislators here, will be just another step forward in trying to help the consumer during tragedy. As we move forward with this, we're very supportive. And I just want to say to the people of Mobile and Baldwin County, the state of Alabama is behind you. Governor Ivey took the lead early on to get a declaration in place to where we could be considered a disaster area. We heard this morning from Congressman Byrne about the work that's being done with FEMA and his staff, and they're moving forward in a prompt and quick manner, trying to respond to the people. The EMA for the state is working with local EMA officials, trying to make sure that the help that is being put out is being given to the people who need it the most. We're working with faith-based organizations. Every organization and every person that's willing to get out and help we're trying to keep it organized, and we're thankful for our county commissions and the work they're doing. So, like I say, I appreciate the invite. It's good to be here with the people of Baldwin and Mobile counties, and I'll be available later for comments if needed. Representative Simpson, thank you.
And with that, if they have any questions from the pool. Yes, ma'am.
Maybe it's too specific, but we're seeing a lot of this with people asking, trees, they're being charged $25,000, $30,000. For somebody who's never had to deal with that kind of a cost, how do they know what is actually price gouging? Because if I've got a tree on my house and it's cut through the middle of my living room, I'm going to pay whatever you tell me to get it off. But how do I know that $25,000 is an absurd amount of money?
Well, we recommend that you we recommend that you take a survey of those that are around you that are hiring for the same services as well. And I believe home builders will also tell you that if you're dealing with a licensed contractor, you're able to contact them to determine if there have been any disciplinaries against that company or not. The tree recovery is different from actual contracting, and so that is different. But the best thing we say is to just stop, take a breath, use your common sense about the amount, ask your neighbors, if you can, get online and see if you can find reviews from various different agencies that provide that, and just try to use your common sense the best you can and not get in a hurry. What we're expecting is that over the coming month and 6 weeks, people will be victimized. And we want everyone, through this press conference, we're wanting everyone to be aware of the fact that there will be people that will be trying to take advantage of them. So all we can say is to just stop, take that breath, call your neighbors, call your family members. We also expect that vulnerable populations will be preyed upon, like the elderly. So we would say call your family members, call your children, and try to get a little more information before you actually contract. And again, these companies need to contract in writing, and you need to be able to get that ahead of time and take photos of everything. And make sure that it feels right to you.
Has any arrest been made, Sheriff, either from Mobile or from Baldwin? Has anybody been taken into custody for price gouging or kicked out of the county? Or
not from Baldwin County. We initially, the initial reports that we had on some of the items were to strictly deal with the timber issue, on taking trees and things of that nature. We do expect now, as we start to get through the cleanup process, now the reconstruction and repair process will start. Also, and one of the things that we had addressed, there was some reports about some illegal evictions that might have been going on. We did have, I think we investigated 3 of those. We deemed those evictions were inappropriate at that time and have handled those, and I think those people have actually been relocated. It was out of a safety concern of the apartment, but even with the safety concern, there still is a legal process that you have to go through. And so we were able to address that, but at this time we have not made any arrest. We do have a couple complaints that are still under investigation, but no arrest.
I would just echo the same. In Mobile County, we've not had any arrests, but we're just early into it, and we think the problem, as mentioned here, is we're going to find out after someone has paid a high price to get the thing fixed. Then they're going to start reflecting back and realize they took advantage of, and so we fully anticipate that to happen again.
Representative Simpson, what is your bill number and where was it at last session? Why did it not get passed to the Senate and made into law? What's kind of the process?
There's a little pandemic going around. The bill last session was 2020 HB 194. It passed the House 97-2 on bipartisan support, across the state, everyone, it was really well received in the House. We got cut short due to COVID, so it never had the opportunity to make it up to the Senate. I do expect this year Senator David Sessions, who represents Mobile area, is going to carry the bill in the Senate this year. Whenever it is we go back. Whenever we go back, this bill will be filed. That's why I haven't filed it yet. It doesn't have a number for this session because we just don't know, as soon as we know when we go back, it'll be filed.
A lot of the scammers, they come in from out of state, so how can you hold these people accountable when they come in, they get their money, and then they go back? Can they really be held accountable and arrested if they're coming in from out of state?
If it becomes a felony, it makes it much easier for law enforcement to arrest. It's very difficult to get extradition on a misdemeanor because the cities aren't going to hold people in. If you have a felony warrant for your arrest, if you're stopped at a traffic light, or if you have something going on, for whatever reason, it is much, much easier for law enforcement to be able to pursue these charges and to bring that person back and actually have to face consequences for their actions. And that's the nature of the purpose of this bill.
One of the questions I keep hearing over and over again, like we talked about the tree damage as well. Insurance companies don't often cover people removed, so it's kind of a desperate situation at the end. What's the message, I guess, for the insurance industry out there right now as far as trying to work with people down here to prevent this sense of desperation? I think a lot of people are starting to feel because they got a mess on their hands.
There are so many people. It's overwhelming, the number of people that have come from all over to help our citizens. The number of people, the charities, the churches, the insurance people, the number of the people that just come to our area to help is heartening. You see that, and that makes you feel full of love to live down here, love to live in South Alabama, because you see the help that comes through. However, there are people that do take advantage of those opportunities. The message to the people that are down here to help is, thank you. If you want to do it the right way, thank you. We need all the help we can get. There is more damage down here than we expected, so we need all the help we can get. But if you're coming down here to help our people, do it the right way. If you're going to come down here and into a contract with an Alabama citizen, you need to follow Alabama law. And that's what the message is do it the right way, help the consumers understand there is a right way for this to be done, and help them understand to follow that path to do it the right way.
This question's for the Home Builders Association. Are the agreements reciprocal? Like if I'm a home builder in Mississippi and I have my card in Mississippi, is that recognized in Alabama, or does that contractor have to get registered in Alabama to be able to do the work here? How does that work?
We reciprocate with Mississippi, but when you come in, you will have to be recognized by the state of Alabama, and we'll have to issue you a Alabama builder's license to come in and do the work. And any roofing repair is $2,500 or more requires a licensed roofer. And then you hit $10,000, you've got to be an unlimited builder to do it. So ask for the card before you give them anything.
Can you tell them about how fast the turnaround is once they
Right now, the turnaround on a roofer's license is within a few days. We're able to get as long as they can come in, give a $10,000 bond, and they have proof of identification as to whether they're a citizen or not, and where they've worked before, and we can get them a license within 2 days at least.
Question for the AG's office. Do you foresee an increase in staff, personnel to handle the complaints? And if so, has that already happened?
Well, what we have is the opportunity to bring in people as necessary from other divisions or from other tasks. And so we already went through a state of emergency that we're still in because of COVID, and at that time we actually formed some COVID response teams within our office. These response teams brought in people from across the Consumer Interest Division and other divisions of the office to make sure that we were able to respond to all the needs of the citizens of the state. At this time, I believe that we're staffed where we're able to handle the volume that will come from Sally, and we'll make sure that we move staff around as we need to, but I don't see any need for hiring new staff at this time to be able to comply. We have a great staff and a great office full of very capable people, and they've just gone through dealing with a state of emergency that is the longest state of emergency I've ever known of. I think the longest we've probably ever had in the state, and so we're on the ready to be able to handle this one as well.
One more question. Does anybody have any more questions? thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, everyone involved here. This means the world to us to know to protect our public. Thank you.
Nice job, Matt.